Yeah, I remember this one time I ended up homeless for being set up. I kid you not. Yeah, set up. I had a studio apartment in a Victorian house, and it was in Midtown Sacramento. And I remember moving in, no problems. At the time I had okay credit, and I moved in, and the neighbors were acting kind of shady towards me. Midtown was known for being an area with like people that stereotyped, and it probably still is, but there's certain crowds of people, and if they see you like with hats like this or just like in a certain way, you know what I mean? You got brown skin or black skin, you know what I mean? You're dressed a certain way, they just want to exclude you, they want to stay away from you. And, there's a lot of racist white people down there, and just like there's just judgmental people. Like I said, it's still like that probably, but anyways, I moved down there and the neighbors didn't seem to like me. My next door neighbor, at first, he was trying to be all cool with me, and he offered to let me use his Wi-Fi, gave me his password. So, you know what I mean? He was cool in the beginning. And then, like, things just kind of, he started acting weird. Out of nowhere, he just, like, changed his password, and he started acting distant with me. And I had friends that would come over sometimes and visit. I was young. I was, like, in my early 20s, and, we'd smoke weed, drink, and have little kickbacks and stuff. And I don't know, like, well, I was there for 4 months. I lived there for 4 months straight. And it was weird. I remember I met this girl online, and she was real pretty Hispanic woman. Her name was Lily, and she was around my age. And I remember, we were hitting it off, and we're talking, and we're planning on like being in a relationship. She seemed hella chill. I definitely would have been with her. And I was interested in everything, and we're talking and dating and everything. And I remember getting some new furniture for my place. I got a couch, a new bed and everything. And I was feeling really good. I had some friends over, and we were like setting up my studio, my spot. And, I was decorating, putting posters up and everything, just like, making it look different and everything. And I loved it. I loved that little studio. It was a little studio in a Victorian house. And, I set it up nice. And I remember one morning I went outside, and the maintenance man came up to me. And he's like, do you got all your stuff out yet? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, are you ready to go? I still didn't know what he was talking about, And then he explained it to me that I had an eviction, or I had a 30-day notice. Not an eviction, but a 30-day notice, or whatever. Termination, whatever you want to call it. And so they hit me with a 30-day. And I had no idea. And the thing was, right, within that 30 days, I lost my mailbox key, so I wasn't able to check my mail, and I should have been more concerned. I should have went and got a new one, but you know what I mean? I didn't have a mailbox key, and I wasn't able to check my status and, any kind of, stuff coming in. And I just didn't care at the time, I didn't really give a crap. I was going to get around to it, but I really thought that I had my mail key inside my spot in my apartment, but I didn't. And I looked everywhere, I couldn't find it. So anyways, he told me I had a 30-day notice, and so I called up the property manager and I talked to her, and she said, yeah, you got a 30-day notice. So I was like, I don't understand. Why is this? Why would I get a 30-day notice? I didn't understand, So she was like, to the neighbors, they been making complaints on you since you moved in. And she went on telling me that since the day I moved in, people were, making complaints. And that's crazy, because all I did when I moved in was bring my stuff upstairs, and then I just, I took a nap. I was tired. I didn't really leave that day, after I moved in. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't go outside. I just kicked back at the pad and, just was trying to adjust. So anyways, I didn't understand. And she went on saying that they were saying that I was drug dealing, that I was doing this and that, and my friends were beating up the neighbors, and that never happened. All these lies were getting put on me. And all I did was just keep to myself, do my thing. I had a couple friends that came over. She said that they were just making complaints every single day for 4 months that I was living there. And, I'm like, I didn't know I had a 30-day notice. And she's like, well, as long as you leave calmly and, you don't cause any problems, we won't call the cops. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So anyways, my mind's blown. I don't know what the hell, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I ended up, just like leaving the same day. I had the maintenance man help me take all the furniture that I had and all the new furniture that I had. It wasn't much. It was a couch, a dresser, you know what I mean, a bed, just little things like that. I had him help me take it across the street to the dumpster. I had nowhere else to, take it. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anyone to help me with that. So we just dumped it across the street. And I took I took what I was able to get, my clothes and everything, and I left. And I remember my friends, there a couple of them were around me and stuff. And, once I had all my stuff, my both bags in my hand, and I left the place and I was out there, they were looking at me kind of weird. And then they just like kind of, all right, man, peace. You know what I mean? And that was it. And I stood there alone and I was homeless. And that girl that I was talking to, the girl Lily, you know what I mean? I told her what happened and everything, and I explained everything, and she lost all contact with me. She never even responded. I just never heard back from her. It was just like, psh, she vanished. She got weirded out because I told her I didn't have nowhere to go. I was going to be homeless. So from there, I went to the street. I ended up going to a shelter. I didn't really like it there that much. It was the Gospel Mission in Sacramento out here. And I was there. I didn't want to be there. You had to wake up like 5 in the morning, and then we'll go to sleep like 10, and you're in a dorm with a bunch of people, and people are hella rude and stuff. I wasn't feeling it there. So I ended up homeless, for being set up. I had no idea that I had a 30-day notice. I had no idea that there was a 30-day notice, in my mailbox. You know what I mean? They gave me a copy. They said, the managers, like we put a copy on your door, and we put a copy in your mailbox. You know what I mean? And I never got nothing on my door, and my mailbox, I never got that key. And at that point, you know what I mean? I just ended up leaving, and that was it, and went to the streets, and no one was there for me.